This video shows you how to build what's known as a pinhole camera in order to project an image of the sun so that you can view it safely during a partial solar eclipse, such as will happen on the 20th of March. This simply uses a cereal packet, some masking tape, sellotape will do just as well, a pair of scissors, aluminium foil and a pin to make the hole. This is an optical pin from the science lab, but a safety pin would do just as well. So the first thing I've done is to cut 2 holes in the lid of the cereal packet. This flap can stay on. I've made 1 hole rather far to the right, which has meant I've needed to remove some of that flap because that's what I'm going to be viewing through. The viewer's eye will go there. And then this hole here is going to have a piece of aluminium foil around it, through which we'll make a small pinhole. So the next task is to tape the lid up so that we can then put some foil over this hole here. So as you can see, I've used masking tape just to join along the edges to seal the edge here and here so that no light will get in. The viewer's eye will be over this hole and this is about to be covered with aluminium foil. Masking tape is easier to use because you can tear it easily and you can peel it off without ripping the card underneath. So if you're going to do this as a class project, masking tape is probably the easier thing to use. Now I've cut a small piece of foil which is simply going to go over this hole. It doesn't have to be even as big as I've made it, to be honest. Foil is used because you want a nice clean hole. If you make a hole in the card, it's going to have ragged edges. So I'm just going to tape this down here and on the other side. You can tape it along there if you want as well. So as you can see, I've taped it along here and at the other side there. I've decided I would put some tape along there. It works just as well without, but when you're using something like this with children, they'd see the gap and think light can get in. Of course, light can only travel in straight lines, but you don't want to have to confuse them when they're going to be using something like this. So we have our eye hole, and over here, if you feel carefully, you can feel where you've got your hole underneath the foil, and you're just going to make a very small hole and try not to move the pin sideways at all so that it doesn't come at all jagged. You want a nice clear round hole, as small as you can make it with your pin. And now it's ready to use. So we'll go outside and I'll show you how we observe the sun using our cereal box. So, in order to use the pinhole camera to observe the sun, you need to be facing away from the sun. Now for me at the moment, the sun is over there. It's a little bit cloudy, so I'm not going to actually see very much, but that doesn't matter in order to see how to use it. You need to hold the hole that you've made to your eye, like this, and then the pinhole is pointing towards the sun, and you should, moving it around a little bit, end up seeing a tiny image of the sun on the bottom of the box, around about here.